Tuesday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Mariah Afolabi Brown. As always, I have my co-host here with me. Hi, ladies.
Hello, Mariah.
YK, what's up? How are you?
Cold. Very cold.
I like your shoes with the clothes.
Thank you.
They look very nice. Look like you bought them together.
And I didn't too. I had this shoes like 3-4 years ago.
Imagine.
And this dress I bought earlier this year.
I think she has a good eye for shopping.
Unfortunately, Ugo is not here. Would have done a nice. But unfortunately, our cameraman today is sleeping. Let's move on to how you doing, madam?
Good morning.
What's up? How you doing? You look really nice.
After a long weekend, starting from Thursday, I've rested well. And I've had several calls asking what is happening to our 9 o'clock repeat. I must say, Malaja Bamiduro, yesterday, she called again, her husband and herself, asking what happened to our 9 o'clock. Your view has made a lot of impact, especially in the exercise.
Say it is 12, instead of talking too much.
It's 12 now. I left that for Mariah. I was actually leaving it for Mariah.
Yeah, we had yesterday. A lot of people complained, but we have to move it because that's prime time. And when you have a prime time content, you need revenue, and if revenue is not coming in, you have to make a business decision. So for now, we have to put it midnight unless we get a sponsor who's saying, you know what, I'll pay for your view at 9 p.m. Hey, we can have a conversation. But it's prime time. You can't just
sponsors should please come and sponsor the program.
Yeah.
We've tried 4 years.
On our
4 years.
How you doing, Madam Esther from Radio Continental?
Thank you. I'm fine. I'm having a nice time with you guys again.
Good to have you. How have you been? Long time.
Yeah.
How is the dating scene?
You know we're going to be asking you every day. You better find one answer.
The dating scene is fine. I'm not really.
And Esther got promoted recently.
Yes,
congratulations.
Yes. Thank you.
And she's going to do African washing for us later.
Okay. It's just been, I think, for the past 1 week, a lot of good things have just been happening. And I'm asking, I said, it's like, it's my season and the heavens are open.
So see, when it's your season like that, you have to, your antennas must be very, very clear. So as job is coming, promotion is coming, the brothers are coming too. So.
No, the brother is settled. That's
really? You didn't tell us. How is brother doing?
Mo, do you really want to go there?
Yes, I want to go there.
Yeah, he's been fine. It's been wonderful with him. He's been a wonderful guy.
Oh.
Hi, brother.
That's so sweet.
Okay, today is World Population Day, which aims to enhance awareness of population issues, including their relations to the environment and development. This year's theme is birthing spacing. So, sorry, birth spacing. Actually, said birthing spacing. Birth spacing. So, a lot of people are having 5-10 kids, together. This is the time to remind them that you have to space your kids properly.
Just do it once and let it go. Is that not what our parents say?
No, when you do it like that, when you pay school fees like this, you will hear it. Because when you have, like Mariah now, her 3 kids are in nursery and primary. She's hearing it.
Yes, now we have to gather the money together.
So what's the right space you should have?
At least 2-3 years.
Which is what everybody's saying.
Yeah.
Or just have one like me.
Okay, we don't want one.
We don't live in China.
I believe in that.
No,
do you know
that?
that?
Live in China.
When I finished with my daughter's university and everything, anything I made after that was for me.
Yes, good.
Or anything. I mean, she's now looking after me.
Yes.
If I'm suffering, my daughter will send me money.
We're Africans.
All right,
important.
Let's take a break.
Sit down there.
My own guy is not feeling well.
It's free. Family planning is free. 500 registration, free in all government hospitals.
All right, let's take a break now. When we come back, we'll look at the front pages of the newspaper. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. So we're going to start with the Punch. Hyenas, jackals will be ejected from the kingdom, says Aisha Buhari. We strongly believe in the prayers and support of the weaker animals. Long live the weaker animals. Long live Nigeria. Right. Etisalat begins exit from Nigeria. Ex-minister denies involvement in alleged plot to unseat Osinbajo. Southeast, South governors forge alliance on restructuring. Supreme Court upholds Obaseki's election as Edo governor. INEC pays notice of verification for Melaye's recall. I won't contest Adeleke's victory, Aregbeshola's candidate says. That's Hussein. Flyover right-of-way stall new Ibadan, Lagos-Ibadan rail project. OPEC may ask Nigeria, Libya to cut output. And Falana Balarabe, Kako, others condemn amnesty bill for looters. So this hyena Lion King drama that is going on in the papers, what's happening? Go read that story.
The First Lady, while responding to Senator Shehu Sani's post on Facebook talking about the Lion King being down, he said he posted initially that the Lion King is sick and is down, and the hyenas and the jackals are celebrating, praying that the Lion King doesn't get back up, doesn't recover from his illness, so that they can take over the kingdom. And then she just replied this week, that post since last week, she replied to it this week saying that the hyenas and the jackals will soon be kicked out of the kingdom because the Lion King, the prayers of the weaker animals have been answered, and the Lion King, don't worry.
You're the weaker animal.
You are the weaker animal.
Please, before we blow this thing out of proportion, it is not today that the writers have used satire to address political issues. Okay. I read The Animal Farm back in secondary school, I think SS1, and I loved it because it talked about a country, the political, and using animals, pigs, goats, and all that to, you know, to symbolize every.
Even the senator actually said society. That the hyenas are the cabals. That he had actually interpreted because they asked him
his post included a cabal. He talked about it in that particular one post that she replied to. So he was the one that indicated any cabal, and then she replied saying that these jackals and hyenas will soon be kicked out of the kingdom.
And he referred to our acting president as the tiger. He's a tiger that is trying to
that is helping him. And then he also referred to the pythons. The pythons are the Igbo youth.
Oh really?
Yeah, sorry. I'll tell you. I don't want to quote.
We have to run. Unfortunately, we can't.
But I have something to say about the Kakol and Balarabe on this bill to give amnesty to treasury looters. If you cannot give amnesty to the man caught on road stealing bread for a child, you cannot give amnesty to a society that need help. You want to give amnesty to someone that has looted for, and what are the basis? What are the percentage of things that they actually return that you want to give them amnesty for? That will only promote corruption.
Well, I agree with you. This has been widely debated and it's still being debated. But I mean, on the face value, it looks very, it doesn't make sense. But if you think about it deeply, I was trying to say yesterday that the objective, of course, concerning Linus Okore's proposal is that if you steal money right now, and we're trying to assist to return the money, there's a possibility that the case against you, we might lose the case, and you might still end up with your money. We're saying allow you to come voluntarily to drop the money, and that your money we're using it, some for taxes, some at least invested in the economy. At least we know what the money is being used for.
That's the problem that I have with the proposal, and I am afraid that the National Assembly would even consider this proposal. Right. Because it means that we do not have a law enforcement agency in place qualified to do the job.
Right.
Why do we carry cases to court that we are likely to fail?
Okay.
You know?
The Arewa youth, I beg, are the crocodiles.
Oh, fuck it. Moving on to the nation. Jackals, hyenas around Buhari will go, says wife. How ex-Nemasa DG, others stole 754 million naira. Witness tells court. Amnesty delegates shine in Nigeria, overseas and universities. Etisola to quit Nigeria. Lagos-Ibadan rail ready next year. Alaafin, Nigeria must restructure. Lagos Assembly lashes Senator Goje for comment. Man City Leicester agree Iheanacho deal. So,
the Lagos-Ibadan rail project had a bottleneck at Ijoko in Ogun State because, presently they are constructing a bridge at that point where the rail is supposed to go through. So they stopped negotiations. But the Minister for Transport, while addressing the people, he was on site yesterday with the governor of Ogun State. And while they were on site, while addressing people, was saying that, they are still waiting for the National Assembly to approve this loan that they are taking from the China Exim Bank to continue this project. And that, for me, is not a reassurance that, this project will be ready for next year, like I said.
Yeah, and they also said one of the reasons they stopped as well was because that bridge is 4.5
meters.
It has to go higher for
that 6.8 or something, yeah.
All right, but he did assure us that the rail will be ready by 2018 December. So let us hope.
Well, it's only going to Ibadan.
But I have an issue with this Lagos State Assembly replying Senator Danjuma Goje on this. Okay, first of all, Danjuma Goje had spoken to Fashola about the budget amendment and everything, and he told him that we are not the Lagos State Assembly. So he had to come out to say, what do you mean by that statement saying we are not the Lagos State Assembly? Are you saying that we never did our job while the governor was, while he was a governor in the state? So, but I don't think they really need this back and forth. We have too many national issues to discuss.
Moving on to Vanguard. Igbo youths out of tune with what we want, says Ohaneze. Nigeria, a nation without leaders, says Okoji. And 0809, another brand name change looms as Etisalat quits Nigeria. So Ohaneze, that article was pretty interesting. Ohaneze Ndigo, the socio-cultural organization, they were Ohaneze Ndigo saying that the Biafra, IPOB, are not, the agitation is actually not in line with the general view of the Igbos, that they understand the call for referendum makes sense, is a good idea, but it's not the first step. The first step is to have this restructuring. If restructuring fails, then they could consider referendum. But right now, the option on the table right now is restructuring, and let us ensure that all the parts have enough there's equity across board with resources and all that.
Yes. So do we have referendum in our constitution? Because if it is there, it is something that would have been happening. But obviously, there's no provision for that. So
certainly. But I mean, that's part of the call of the constitutional amendments anyway.
So it should start from the lawmakers. This whole restructuring and everything should start from the National Assembly.
That's what, let me quickly join issues with the Cardinal, the Emeritus Cardinal Okoje, saying that, you know, Nigeria is a country that lacks leaders. And in his statement, he said that, you know, when the country is in this kind of situation that we're in now, people pray. And when we pray, it doesn't mean that, you know, we sit down and we're done praying. We pray that, you know, God blesses us with wise leaders, or, you know, blesses us with make our leaders wise. I love the fact that he's talking about the situation on ground. We need more voices like this. All our religious leaders should start to talk about what is happening. Just have to, you know, the people that are listening to them, because when these politicians bring their whatever loot they have taken to the religious homes, people just keep quiet. But I love the fact that he's coming out to say, no, we don't have the right leaders. We need something serious to be done. Let it not be under our watch that, you know, people go hungry like this, and insecurity everywhere. People are dying. We have not gotten the Ekpe children who have been kidnapped. A lot of issues that, you know, it came out. That
they also spoke about. He also said that war is not the answer. That the elders, they actually witnessed the war. So that is why they are not.
Let's move on quickly then. For war. So Daily Sun, Aisha attacks Buhari's enemies. 2019 ACF pro-Biafra group fight over president. You don't impose candidate on us. Edo Guba Supreme Court affirms Obaseki's victory. Collapsed bridge, Osinbajo gives contractor 2 weeks ultimatum. Disparaging comments, Lagos Assembly demands apology from Senate, and Etisalat pulls out of Nigeria. So this pro-Biafra group, they went to meet the elders.
Pro-Buhari group. Yes, the pro are seeking support for the 2019 ambition of the president, who is presently not in the country because of his health. And they're saying, don't force anybody.
No. The pro-Buhari group went to meet the ACF elders. Seeking support. That we are here going across the 36 states, looking for support for the president 2019. Thinking that they're going to get a pat in the back. That one said, excuse me, you cannot impose any candidates in 2019. Let the people decide. You cannot, you have no right.
I even expect that presently their concern should be the health of the president.
Exactly.
And because, and who is putting them up to this?
Because the constitution is providing for when he's incapacitated, they should be concerned that, you know, he should get well soon before that.
It will more be like get well soon and gathering people to pray for him than
saying that power must rest in the north. Okay, let's rush out. We run out of time. Daily Times appropriation. Magu YFG is reluctant to go to Supreme Court. And this day, Osinbajo meets Saraki Dogara over Executive National Assembly dispute. Etisalat group confirms withdrawal from the country. We didn't talk about Etisalat at all. I just pray that our lines don't go to go off. I don't care what happens.
They have said that they are...
They're only giving them 3 weeks.
3 weeks. They must change the name. They have closed the management. They've signed off with the management. That so they are saying it's normally 6 months. They say no.
3 weeks.
They're not doing 6 months with you.
Anyways, let's just hope for the best. Let's take a break. When we come back, today's hot topic, Federal government suspends NHIS chief due to allegations of mismanaged funds. And later, we discuss federal government to scrap HMOs. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So the Chief Executive Officer and Executive Secretary of the National Health Insurance Scheme, Professor Usman Yusuf, has been suspended by the FG over allegations of insubordination, abuse of office, and nepotism. According to reports, the suspension was due to the series of petitions written against him, which also included buying a sport utility vehicle worth 58 million naira. An investigative committee has also been set up to look into the various allegations in accordance with the public service rules. Though investigations are still ongoing, his non-remittance and mismanagement of funds has affected the Health Maintenance Organization, that's the HMO. How can a serving health official mismanage funds that should cater for the well-being of tax-paying citizens? It's Your View. Call us on 070-8066-8014. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag Your View TVC so we can read your tweets. Now, we're not putting him on trial because these are just allegations. Nothing has been proven. So let us not act as though we know for sure he mismanaged. These are just allegations. But we're just connecting this to general mismanagement of funds across our, various parastatals in our country, and the fact that we, the citizens, we the weaker animals, what they call us, we are not getting the dividends of our democracy. So that's really the focus, not so much on this allegation.
I wouldn't even, sorry, Nima, I wouldn't want to even put make any allegations or put him on trial, because, you know, the producer sent us to, and one was on the HMO,
right,
and he is one of those that are advocating
right
for that the HMOs are not doing their job. So, and that there is a major cabal.
Yes. So very good, YK, because I'm actually thinking it is possible there is a cabal that is initiating this to prevent him from, because he says the NHIS and the HMO is filthy. The NHIS is totally filthy, and for the past 12 years. They've only, I think they've only serviced 1.5% of the total population. That doesn't make any sense.
Less than 2%. What did he do in his time to change the narrative? Because I know for a fact that the NHIS has not been able to cover enough people. We're talking about an health insurance scheme that would have alleviated a lot of suffering. When I was in the hospital, I saw people who couldn't pay for natural delivery of 26,500.
Right.
That bad. Recently, I had another experience of, someone had to do an evacuation that cost a lot of money, and the person was just, lost because of that. This person works for government. She should be covered by the scheme. But certain times you have provisions like that. When you get to the hospital, they would outline for you that your NHIS, even if you are qualified, does not cover this and this. It was a partner, a 50 or 40, 60%, 40 arrangement in certain, health issues. For instance, you want to do a myomectomy, the NHIS will cover 60%. You as a federal government worker will cover 40%. That's another issue entirely, because a larger number of people work for state governments, and the NHIS does not cover state governments. I expected that, he should have proposed an amendment to the NHIS to cover the larger population. You get a percentage from their salary to provide this. We need a health insurance scheme that is working in Nigeria. We have too many issues around health. People coming to you every day asking for money, my daughter is sick, this and that, to help. If you had a proper insurance scheme that is, organized by government, which is what the health insurance, the NHIS is, people, this kind of things will not be happening.
And those are the real...
Under his watch, what did he do? Yes, there might be a cabal. That's none of my business. As a boss of the NHIS, I wanted to see, certain things that, landmark achievement that he did.
But one of the things he has said is like the HMOs actually belong to a lot of these very wealthy Nigerians.
Yes.
And they're so powerful that he's now coming to take them head on this on all the corruption practices, because according to him, money has been released
Exactly.
But for whatever reason, they don't get to the people. So but we're taking it from the angle of the real Nigerians. Okay. Do you have any experiences?
I'm taking from the angle where the House of Representatives have taken up the issue to investigate the matter, and some House of Rep members are actually calling for the scrapping of the whole system. And that's one mistake we have in Nigeria. Rather than trying to restructure things and make them right, we remove them. And what are you putting back in place of this thing?
Right. A better scheme.
So
a better scheme.
Are we hearing of the better scheme right now?
Let's start with, okay, I think I have certain facts. Let's start with the NHIS. This scheme was supposed to, you know, take care of health care access in Nigeria. But less than 2% of Nigerians that, you know, are the ones, you know, covered by this scheme. That's only federal government workers and 10 companies, private companies with less than 10 employees. Right. Now, does that cover the entire Nigeria? No, it doesn't even cover up to 10%
even
of
people that are covered, now, when they get to the hospital, how are they treated?
Thank you. That's another issue. They are only allowed to use FMCs. Federal medical centers, and when you get to federal medical center, it's a crazy business already.
And no, but he even said that when they get to the hospitals, they don't treat them because the HMOs are not paying the hospitals. Right. So the hospitals don't want to answer.
Wait, hang on, let me take this call from Dr. Mustafa. Dr. Mustafa, are you there?
Yeah.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Hello.
Morning, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for your programs.
Thank you, sir.
My contribution on this, the suspended guy, is what we call witch hunting. Can you hear me?
Yes.
It's witch hunting. He wants to expose it. He wants to expose them.
Right.
That is why they use their news. How do I call it? That's why they
allegation.
Use this their other means.
Right.
It's just like the cover going on in Nigeria.
Exactly.
That is the same thing that is happening. This guy in the seminar, he said he has proof to show that the NHIS, all these things, that's like a scam.
Yes.
They will build it. They will ask the HMO, we go to the hospital, ask you to treat the patient for example, for 1,000 naira. And then in turn, we go to the government and get 100,000 naira. And they just spread it among themselves. This is what the guy wants to expose.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mustafa. Thank you. You know why I even agree with Dr. Mustafa? Because, you see, if you want to dig out dirt about someone, you dig out all the dirt. The only deck they could find was 58 million naira car. That's only, I read through all the allegations. There was nothing I could hold on to. They said, oh, insubordination. You can't really, what does that mean? The only thing this cabal, or whoever it is that is making the allegation, could find was 58 million naira car. You can't even say because, oh, he only has access to, he's only supposed to have access to 2.5 million naira before, the minister approves only 2.5 million for him to spend. So for him to have 58 million naira to buy a car, they're questioning it. That's the only thing. For me, that's suspicious.
And
apart
that he treats...
It was even a petition that they sent to the minister, which is why, and he had said that the HMOs, all the hospitals is 2.6 billion. Right. Meanwhile, they have not accounted for 60 billion that they collected.
There's actually 351 billion.
Yes.
351 billion that NHIS that's passed through them that they can't account for. Let's take this call. Morning, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, the NHIS is a very, very big scam. And because the hospitals know it's a big scam, they also will scam the patient coming. There was an incident that happened somewhere around my area over the weekend. A patient that knows that his hospital, I don't want to mention the name of the hospital.
Please don't.
The one popular hospital along Akowaja Road. The patient had an accident in a club. He said, take me to that hospital because that's where my health issue is domiciled. Do you know that guy was treated right on the door? They didn't even allow him in to the hospital. But because the hospital knows that nothing the patient or the companies will do to them, they will just also fall in because they know they are big boss taking big money, and the little they send to them, they will also take it out of the patient. They will not treat them well. They will not treat them right. So I think NHIS should be banned, and people should take their health into their hands. Like even if we don't even pay taxes, nobody can hold you for not paying taxes because your health care is not even taken care of. Even the roads are bad. A lot of things are happening. So they should ban NHIS and let the companies take like they used to do before. pay to hospitals directly, and they know they take care of the patient.
Okay. Truth be told, we need NHIS.
Yes.
The reason I believe the NHIS is not growing is because it's only a little number of people in Nigeria that are still covered by it. The larger the number, the easier for them to get. Now, the issues surrounding the NHIS, like you said, alluded to a cabal and, you know, a conspiracy, because just as he was suspended, the Minister for Health was saying in the papers that I suspended him so that we can have a free investigation on this allegation.
Let me also list out the other allegations against Mr. Yusuf. He said he awarded contracts to business to his cronies without due process. Yusuf was also said to have favored northern Muslims, while many Christian southerners were often treated unfavorably. And the boss also was allegedly influenced by members of the Muhammad Buhari's cabal. So they felt that, oh, because he's among the chosen ones from the cabal, so he had this insubordination issue with the Minister of Health. So those are the issues, but as I said,
but yesterday the minister was chosen by Buhari himself. So why would he be? And Buhari must have chosen the minister for a reason. Right. So I don't see why he would be rude to the minister.
We need. I would like to implore the National Assembly now to do an oversight function on the NHIS. Investigate this NHIS, and if we need to scrap it and put in place a proper NHIS Act, a proper health act that, you know, that covers insurance for the people. We need government participation in insurance for the people. Yes. There's no alternative. Right. Because, you know, the HMOs, they are private HMOs, and those are issues for another day. But yesterday, on breaking news as well, I heard that the auditor for the NHIS was also kidnapped. So these issues allude to a cabal and, you know, a conspiracy in the system. We need proper investigation.
For us, the weaker animals, what they call us again? We don't really care what's going on. Our own is we want a proper functioning NHIS. So you sack Yusuf, you don't sack Yusuf. You investigate, you don't investigate. We don't care. Our own is put a system in place so that when each of us weaker animals go to the hospitals, we can get medical care.
They've just suspended him for
3 months. All right, let's take a break now.
While they investigate.
Do we have any tweets? No tweets? Let's rush out.
No tweets. My goodness, I was too busy listening.
All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we'll continue this conversation on HMO. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So the Federal Ministry of Health has said that the continued existence of the HMOs as a health management organizations in operation of the National Health Insurance Scheme, NHIS, is no longer necessary following the mismanagement of funds paid to them for effective health delivery in Nigeria. According to the ministry, the HMOs had recorded abysmal failure in the health coverage of Nigerians, which has resulted in many avoidable deaths. Joining us on the show is the Chairman, House Committee on Health, Lagos State House of Assembly, Honorable Olusegun Olulade. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, you can call us on 070-806-6814. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. I know YK has some tweets before the break.
That Olowoya says everybody is equal. Nobody is more equal than the other. Everyone should use local hospital, great or small, president or pauper. Chikena. Ocheja Yunusa says even established organizations cheat staff medical allowance. For an employee with above 400,000 annual medic can't change eyeglass from frame twice a year. Olivia's daddy, scrap HMOs. This is utterly absurd. Those saying you don't understand the lives that are saved from this scheme.
All right, let me now come to you, sir. Yeah. People are saying, the federal government is saying scrap HMOs. Some people are saying scrap HMOs. Do you agree? Don't you think we need HMOs?
Yeah, I think we need HMO. I think it's the system that they operated upon that gave room for all these corruption issues that is being raised now. And say, okay, and they don't even have the data. Federal government does not even have the data of the people that these people are covering. So what they do is to just say, I am covering 1,000 people. And they give it to the executive secretary and they just approve the money for them quarterly and give them the money to go away. Why they are not also providing, giving the money back to the providers. The hospitals are not getting the money. That's why they are treating the patient the way they are being treated. So I think the system is faulty, and we just need to look at it and restructure it and see how it could serve seamlessly and effectively.
Exactly. That's why Michael says NHS and most of the insurers under the Nigeria. Sorry, I don't want to read that one because NHS is a total fraud. My wife died as a federal staff. NHS refused to underwrite her.
Okay, let me pause for a second. There's some people out there that have no clue what HMOs are. What exactly is your objective on NHS? What's an HMO? Let's even start from scratch for those who don't understand.
I think the purpose of having an HMO is to be an intermediary where they market the people to bring them into the scheme and ensure that they get services. They ensure that if I am your HMO, I ensure that you get quality health services delivery for you and for everybody that is under my cover. Right. But what they do is, the mistake federal government did was to pay them directly. And that is one thing we are trying to correct in Lagos State.
Okay. Can't they pay the hospitals directly?
No, they can't pay the hospital directly. No, they can pay the hospital directly. I agree with that. And I think that's what we are planning to do here also. We will just get the information. They do the marketing. They come back and they ensure that services are rendered. And those people come back to the government, and government will pay. So with that, it makes it more easier. Instead of paying the HMO, and in the HMO in turn will now pay the provider, which most of the time does not happen. Okay. All they do is just get the money and buy.
And then go and buy Jeep.
But this, go ahead.
Is on the concurrent list of the of both federal and state government, and you being the chairman House Committee on Health in Lagos State, I wondered if you've experienced general hospitals. I experienced general hospitals. I saw people having problems paying the general hospital bills. Yeah. How does the health insurance scheme in Lagos work? And how does I'll come to that question later.
Yeah, we have not started. And that is one thing we are trying to do. We are seeing the mistakes of the NHIS and trying to correct it here in Lagos. What we are doing, we are also going to put them in the IT, where we're taking advantage of the IT to make it an e-compliance, where you don't, because like the HMOs at the national level now, what they do is they have the data. Federal government does not even have the data, so you cannot even say who and who are under the cover of the scheme. Yeah. But with us here in Lagos, we are going to generate our data from the onset. People come in and they register because it's on IT, and is going to enhance that efficiency. And we are also, in our law, we make it compulsory for everybody in Lagos State. Right. And that alone will give volumes, one, and will also give us the opportunity of covering everybody. Once you are a Lagosian, once you reside in Lagos, yes, you have the opportunity to be covered by that scheme. Fantastic. And with that, you don't have...
and you pay tax.
Fantastic. And you pay tax, so you are covered.
I'm going to give, taking it from this point where you don't even know how much you use or how much you're supposed to be billed after a treatment in a hospital where you say you go for an HMO. So they billing you and sending the bills to whoever is responsible to pay. Yeah. How is that regulated?
Yeah, we are trying to correct that also. I should know what benefits.
Yes.
If I'm the patient, I should know the benefit that comes to me. So right, if you are billing me, you cannot just bill me on what I don't use, so I don't even know. Aware. And those are the ways that things have happened, because now because it's going to be on electronic compliance. Yes. If anybody comes in, the moment you scrap your card, your data will come up, and they can see the treatment that you were giving. Right. And with that, it makes it more easier. Because we went to Kenya to study what they were doing in Kenya for us in Lagos, so that we can domesticate what they are doing there. If it's working in Kenya, He can work in Lagos State.
But my worry, sir, I mean, as much as I appreciate what Lagos State is doing, but my worry is this issue of corruption. I mean, first of all, we don't trust the government. We naturally don't trust the government, right? Yeah. Now, the HMOs are private citizens that we hope to trust. They are the ones now siphoning the money and not even doing. So it's like you're between the devil and the deep blue sea. Now I have to just believe that the government is going to do. I mean, I know Lagos State is doing their own, but as a citizen, it's really disheartening to feel that the corruption problem is me, not even the government.
Let me help what you're trying to say. Corruption within government hospitals, where you have chief medical officers in government hospitals busy frustrating their doctors to cover up certain practices that they do within the hospitals. Who checks that? I spent 6 months in the hospital. I saw government facility deteriorate. I kept calling on the head of the hospital, calling his attention that these things are getting bad. This is a maternal and child. You cannot have pregnant women being exposed to mosquito bites and malaria in pregnancy. These are things that you should be working at. Right. And I knew at the time that the government intervened with over 10 billion, about 10 billion in health sector in Lagos State. I didn't see that improve the status of, in fact, the hospital is worse off today. Who checks corruption within hospitals and who is the regulator that
I think we have several stages of check. Right. It's just because people are not coming out to express
custom checkpoints.
Yes, not custom checkpoint. I don't want to call it. No. I don't want to call it that way because I know what we do. You see, we have the high performance oversight function as the chairman committee and our committee on the hospitals in Lagos State, for instance. And we also have auditors, both internal and external auditors that come in. The commissioners, they also have their team to inspect all the hospital. So we have stages of monitoring. Right. But if we also have an FEMA that goes around. And with our own insurance scheme, it's not going to be only restricted to government hospitals, even the private. Even if you want to use name, and I don't want to mention names of hospitals, private hospital here. Any private hospital that you desire as a Lagos resident to say this is the hospital I want to use, we are okay by it. Once your insurance covers that, you will be paid, and the hospital will be paid on that. Right. But we can't say we are perfect. Right. And that's why we keep calling on people. You are the third eye. Call people that are, and in all our hospitals, for instance, in Lagos, you will see the number of the MD. You see numbers of people that you can call. They are pasted everywhere. You can call my number, you can call the commissioner's number, you can call the SA number. So we make it so easy for people to have access so that those people things can be checked.
Because you had said earlier that, the HMOs have all the data. Yeah. So I'm wondering how the federal government is going to be able to rectify this, because HMO will not want to release.
They are not even releasing it. It's not going to be easy for the federal government to say they want to scrap the HMOs. It's not going to be easy. The best thing for them is to put up a structure. And that's why, for me, I still believe Professor Yusuf Usman should be called back. And the ICPC or EFCC should investigate, and even the National Assembly, I understand they have started working on that. Yeah. I think they should investigate this matter carefully, because Nigerians are suffering.
Yeah. So you don't agree that they should scrap it?
No, I don't. Because,
bring him back and investigate.
Because government cannot even handle it.
Right.
You understand? And they do not even have the data. For us in Lagos, we are starting from the scratch, so it's make it more easier for us.
You talked about restructuring of the sector, which will bring the change. Yeah. So from what point should they start this restructuring?
I think with what Professor Usman is trying to say, that it's going to be a new terrain for even the HMOs. They are going to invite them back. Yes. Those who are, it's not all the HMOs that are bad. But we have some cartel, we have some cabal among them. So those ones are benefiting from the system. Cabal, I think, that are so if they bring them in and you can prove that, this is the hospital and people are using those hospitals and those hospitals are rendering the services as required, as covered by the scheme, I think then they can be...
all right, we're going to take... Do you have any tweets, YK? Tweets on this?
Plenty. Let me just take only one.
Okay.
NHIS and most of the institutions that the Nigerian, no, sorry, the NHIS cannot be a scam. It is the people running it that are corrupt. Yes. The scheme works in other nations. I wanted to take that because it's very, very important.
Let's take a break. Now when we come back, we continue our conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So YK has plenty of tweets. Go ahead, YK.
Yes, please. I have plenty of tweets. Abdul Salam says, it's not only about the HMOs, even the NHS drugs are charged more than 10% and always fraudulently not available. John Owoni, this shows that every sector is under a cabal. It is high time people in charge are held accountable for real. Adebayo says, this rough fight can only make the weaker animals suffer, if not resolved reasonably.
Okay. Now, let me ask you, Honorable. Yeah. The governor of Lagos State sat exactly where you sat last year, July, and he said that they're going to invest 20 billion naira in the health sector by January. Has that money been invested? And if it has, what exactly has it done?
Well, as I speak to you now, we have a lot of primary health centers that are being constructed. Yes. Some are being constructed, some are being renovated. And with that, they are also being equipped. And apart from that, a lot of equipment are being bought. A lot of our hospitals, if you go to Badagry today, the MCC in Badagry, they have recontracted it out. And they are working on it. The Ayinke House in Ikeja is also being reconstructed.
Can I give you advice? So we have, Let me have a call before you take the advice. Dr. Chidi is calling from Ibadan. Thanks. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Well, those calling for scrapping of HMOs should understand that the providers are the people that will be dealt with most.
Yeah.
I've been a provider on the NHIS for the past 12 years, and I know how it affects with the providers. The HMO schools, heavily. I know those who have been suspended, the HMOs that have been suspended, I will never get our money back. That is why it appears that most providers are skeptical about providing services to some patients.
Yes.
Well, when you go to NHIS, who is supposed to be the regulatory body, they tell you the HMO is no longer on the system, that they will not handle the case.
Imagine.
Once they suspend an HMO, you can't go to arbitration.
Exactly.
And your money goes. In fact, there's one we have just taken to court now. I will not call names so that I will not be going against court ruling.
Yes. Thank you very much, Dr. Chidi. That's a good point.
This is one problem that your bill should be foreseeing. The problem of litigation and arbitration, when you have issues like this. Like he's saying, once you scrap, the money is invested. What do they do to get their monies back?
And I think that is one of the reasons we are looking at the issue of saying we pay directly to the provider instead of giving it to HMO. The HMO will get their what is entitled to them, but for them to get the money and now pay the provider, and that is where the fraudulent acts
come into play. So the doctors get that money.
Yes.
I have a doctor too that had that issue with my HMO. He insisted, Samuel, if you want quality care, let me treat you, pay me my money directly. And don't let me go through HMO because I would not accept your HMO. He told me, I was even begging my office, please now. He said, no, it's your doctor that doesn't want us. You know, because he felt that he would never get his money. And then they give him, they find ways to slash the real value of what the service he has given to me. So in that kind of situation, now going forward, this new scheme that Lagos State is proposing where Lagos State pays the doctors.
The doctors, yeah.
How do we ensure that even with that, we get quality service? Will there still be various levels of payments, or is it just going to be a one blanket payment for the HMOs? Do you understand my question? Like the market woman and maybe YK, for example, would they be entitled to the same scheme or there'll be different levels?
No, they will be entitled to the same scheme, in as much as they are paying the same amount or paying. So they will be entitled to the same scheme. So they can assess quality, and if there is any issue with any provider,
yes,
it will be easier for us to say, okay, that provider is not going to be your provider any longer. We will now give it to another provider who can, I mean, at least for now, provide efficient
Let me take this call. Good morning, are you there?
Good morning.
Thanks for calling, sir. Go ahead.
My question and my contribution is that HMOs should not be scrapped.
Okay.
Because I think one of the objectives of HMOs is to provide quality service. If Nigeria want to attend to the WHO standard of health to the citizens, HMOs should even be spread to states. State government should implement it. Why I am saying so, I'm not trying to campaign for any of them, but I'm a beneficiary. There are some quality in some of the services they render. But what we should ask for, how do we quantify the services and how much will they be paid? Because some of them even collect extra money from the patients.
Right. Thank you very much. Oh, sorry, Maurice. Yes,
yes. I think he spoke about. He just said some of the things I said before. That how do you quantify what you have? What you should be paying for. But right now, when there is a report from a consumer that I went to the hospital and I was treated badly, how does the government come into this, and how do they take?
I think that's the role of the ministry and the role of the agency that is in charge of the scheme, because we can't just say, and that's one area that the NHIS manufactured.
Yes.
Because if, for instance, if they have been monitoring these people, if there have been probity, if there have been accountability, I don't think for 12 good years, nobody is checking their books, or whatever thing they bring in is what they are being paid quarterly. Yes. I think that is where the problem lies, and that is one thing that must be controlled, and that's one thing that we must try to...
My advice was going to be, don't give the money to the Kaba, that 20 billion, don't give it to the Kaba, shine your eye. Then I wanted a question, I really wanted to ask you a question. Yeah. Like my firm now, if I wanted to have this service for my staff, how would I go about it?
Yeah, like what we are doing in Lagos. Are you referring to Lagos plan?
Scheme. Yes, yes.
Yeah, the Lagos scheme will give you an opportunity. We give an HMO to come to you, market you, and bring you aboard. But you are not going to pay the HMO, or you understand? So they come to the scheme. So with that, they are making an arrangement on how you, you pay and how the government can now.
Let's see some tweets.
Yeah, Sharafadin says, NHIS, we pay more than the stipulated 10% for drugs compared to the real cost of drugs. Expensive drugs, unaccessible by the NHIS enrollees. Sally Onyi Damola says, NHIS is not the only agency with the scam issues. We need HMOs. The system should be looked into to block loopholes. Michael Bamidele, people should be put in positions based on merit and not on familiarity.
All right, we have to round up, but I think we still need to call you back because we'd like to know the kinds of things that are going to be covered under this scheme for Lagos State, because there are new emerging things. There are issues of in vitro fertilization. There are issues that people are having real, not the regular malaria, typhoid. There are bigger issues that people are having, cancer. So we need to know heart surgery. So we need to know what Lagos State is willing to cover within the scheme, so that if we need to start saving separately, but at least we need proper information. When this scheme starts, please, we need to bring it back on to educate us.
Like mine has to pay to you to be under that scheme. I would like to know that.
Okay, all right. That's all we can take on the show. I hope you learned a few things as we did. Don't forget, you can watch a repeat now at midnight. No more 9 p.m. because we got lots of calls yesterday on Twitter. Everybody's screaming, where is your view? As I said before, it wasn't commercially viable for us to leave your view at 9 p.m. because that's our prime time. So we have to move it to midnight. Unless you get a sponsor who's willing to pay for it, no problem, we'll bring it back. But for now, it has to go to midnight, all right? Have a lovely day. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.